In a world where everyone is screaming to be noticed, why does the person who remains silent often hold the most power over others' perceptions? Do you ever feel that the more you explain yourself and the more you are present, the less respect people seem to actually have for you? This happens because you might be violating a fundamental law of power. In the realm of human psychology, scarcity is what creates true and lasting value. Consider the kings of old. They were rarely seen by the public, ensuring that every rare appearance was treated as a monumental and divine event. If you are always available, you are common. If you are common, you are ignored. Today, we decode law 16, the art of strategic absence. Economics teaches us that when supply is high, the price drops. Humans are no different. Your availability dictates the price others are willing to pay. 2. Increase your prestige and respect. You must learn the rhythm of withdrawal. You must know exactly when to step out of the bright spotlight. When you vanish strategically, you force others to use their imagination. In their minds, you become far more powerful and significant than in reality. The paradox of presence is simple. The more you are seen and heard, the more ordinary you appear. Ordinary people never lead, they only follow. Power is a game of perception. By controlling how much of yourself you give to the world, you control how much value the world assigns you. Let us dive deep into the psychology of scarcity and learn how to use the power gap to command the room without saying a word. The law of scarcity governs everything from the price of gold to the heat of a romance. Value is determined by how hard something is to find. Sand is everywhere, so we walk over it without a second thought. Diamonds are hidden deep underground, making them the ultimate prize of human desire. In modern relationships, the one who is always reachable and always replying instantly is the one who loses the psychological upper hand in the dynamic. When you are always there, you become a habit. Habits are rarely appreciated, they are expected. And expectations are the graveyard of true, deep attraction. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more people know about you and the more they see you, the more they feel they have figured you all out. Once you are figured out, the mystery is gone. Once the mystery is gone, the power evaporates. You must maintain a layer of the unknown always. By withdrawing your presence, you disrupt the pattern of familiarity. You force others to stop taking you for granted and start wondering about your whereabouts. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, but more importantly, it makes the mind grow curious. Curiosity is the foundation of all forms of influence. The less you are seen, the more your words matter when you finally choose to speak. Every interaction becomes a rare event of significant importance. Don't be the sun that stays up all day and burns people out. Be the moon that appears only at night, cold, distant and beautiful. Your absence creates a vacuum. Human nature hates a vacuum and will try to fill it with thoughts, theories, and renewed interest in your life. Learn to leave the party while people are still having fun. They will remember your presence far longer than if you stayed until the end. Mastering scarcity is mastering the flow of attention. If they can't have you whenever they want, they will value you whenever they can finally get you. In communication, the person who speaks the most is the one who reveals their cards first. Silence is the ultimate psychological trap in any room. When someone is nervous, they talk. They fill the silence with useless information, excuses, and weaknesses. They practically hand over their power to you. The master of silence does the opposite. By saying nothing, you force the other person to confront their own insecurities and the weight of their words. Most people cannot handle more than 5 seconds of silence in a conversation. They feel a physical need to fill the void at any cost. When you ask a question and receive a weak answer, wait. Just stay silent. Watch as they start to clarify, backtrack, and eventually give up. World leaders and top negotiators use this tactic to extract the truth. Silence creates a pressure that is far more effective than any aggressive interrogation technique. By speaking less than necessary, you appear more wise and more in control. Your silence suggests that you know something they don't yet know. Silence is the sound of a predator waiting for the right moment. It is the calm before the storm that keeps everyone around you on edge. When you finally do speak, your words will land like a hammer. People will lean in to hear you, afraid they might miss a single syllable. If you want to win an argument, try saying nothing at all. The other person's own anger will eventually burn itself out against your cold wall. Every word you save is a bit of energy you keep. Every silence you maintain is a bit of territory you gain in the mind of others. The person who can sit in silence without feeling the need to explain themselves is the person who has truly mastered their own internal ego. Quiet people are dangerous because they are the only ones who are actually listening. They are collecting data while everyone else is just making noise. Practice the art of the pause. Before you respond to any provocation, count to 3. Watch how the atmosphere in the room shifts in your favor. Silence isn't just the absence of noise. It is a presence in itself. It is the armor of the powerful and the dread of the weak. Knowing when to disappear is just as important as knowing when to show up. Rallies and revolutions are often won by those who left early. History is full of leaders who stayed too long and saw their glory fade. The smart ones left while the crowd was still begging for more. In dating, the person who doesn't reply immediately is often the one who is thought about the most. It creates a space for longing and desire. By occasionally saying no to social gatherings, you signal that your time is valuable. You are not just another person filling a chair in the room. Withdrawal is not a passive act. It is a psychological attack. It forces others to question their own behavior and their standing in your eyes. If you have already established your value, leaving suddenly will make people panic. They will fear they have lost you and will work to win you back. But be warned, if you disappear before people know your worth, you won't be missed. You will simply be forgotten and replaced by someone more present. The rhythm must be presence, value, absence, then legend. You must show them what they have before you let them feel what it's like to lose it. Think of it as a tactical retreat in a war. You aren't losing. You are regrouping and making yourself more expensive to reach for the enemy. Solitude is where you sharpen your mind. Absence from others is often the only way to find your own voice again in the loud, modern world. Don't be a penny that is dropped and ignored. Be the rare coin that is kept in a velvet box and shown only to the most worthy. Legends are built in the shadows. The more you are seen doing mundane things, the less legendary your character becomes in the eyes of the public. Your absence says, "I have other things to do. My world does not revolve around you." This is the ultimate statement of self-sufficiency and power. The audience's anticipation is more powerful than the performance itself. Learn to live in that gap of anticipation, and you will never lose control. Come and go like the tide. It is the most powerful force on earth, yet it never stays in one place for very long at all. However, there is a fine line between power and toxicity. If you use silence merely to punish others, you are acting out of hidden weakness. Giving someone the silent treatment to hurt them is a sign of immaturity. It is a desperate cry for attention, not a display of true strength. The goal is to be a master of your own emotions, not a slave to your pride. Use absence to heal, not to destroy your relationships. If you disappear for too long without warning, you may find that the bridges you left behind have burned down in your long and cold absence. Don't become the ghost that no one wants to talk to. Power requires a social context. You cannot lead people if you are never there. The secret is balance. You must be present enough to be loved, but absent enough to be respected and feared in equal measure by others. True power is the ability to choose when to be seen. It is not about being a hermit, it is about being the director of your presence. If your absence feels like a punishment, you have failed. If your absence feels like a mystery, you have succeeded in the game of power. Ask yourself, are you disappearing because you are afraid or because you are strategic? The intention behind your silence changes everything about its effect. Do not use these tactics to avoid life. Use them to master it. Use them to ensure that your energy is spent where it truly matters. The greatest power is control over oneself. If you can control your urge to talk and your urge to be seen, you can control anything. Your ego wants you to be the center of attention. Your wisdom wants you to be the master of the shadows. Listen to your wisdom instead. Let the others fight. For the crumbs of attention, you are waiting for the whole cake and you will get it by being less available. Ultimate power does not lie in how loud you can speak, but in how effectively you can control your own presence and your own voice. Strategic. Silence is the mark of a person who is comfortable in their own skin. They don't need the world's validation to know their worth. Learn to walk out of the spotlight. Let the world miss you for a while. Let them realize that without you, the room feels much emptier. When you return, you will find that the world listens. More closely, you will find that your presence is no longer a habit but a gift. Silence is your greatest ally. Absence is your most effective tool. Use them with care, use them with wisdom, and use them with purpose. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. Remember that the best way to be remembered is sometimes to simply not be there. Step back, breathe, and let your silence speak for you. Until next time, stay powerful, stay wise, and stay mysterious in all you do. The loudest voice in the room is often the weakest. The strongest heart is often the most quiet. Go forth and master the silence within.